Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, we are reading it right now. There has been a massive shakeup at the FBI. Revenge for Trump's raid. Is it happening? Are we witnessing history right now? Here's what we know. Timothy Thibault, the scumbag FBI agent who not only opened up the raid on Donald Trump and ordered the raid on Donald Trump, but also suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop. That's right. This was the man in charge of covering up Hunter Biden's laptop. This was the man. This was the FBI commanding agent who suppressed the story about Hunter Biden. We have, on the basis of 3 whistleblowers, evidence that this man, this agent, is the one who said and ordered the FBI agents to not investigate Hunter Biden's laptop. And I quote, because we don't want to change an election again. That's what this man said to his agents. And this man is also behind the FBI's raid of Donald Trump's home. He has been shown the door. Gone. This agent has been fired. Timothy Thibault, one of the chief commanding officers in the FBI, 25 years at the FBI, has hit the bricks, shown the door. According to the Washington Times and Just the News and Kash Patel and a number of sources inside the FBI, Timothy Thibault, FBI agent, former FBI agent, has been forced to resign, has been fired, packed up his office, and had a security escort out of the building today. This is some devastating news, and what does it mean in context of the FBI's raid on Trump? Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the breaking news here from the Washington Times. Senior FBI officials, Washington Bureau Field Office has abruptly resigned after coming under congressional scrutiny for his suspected political biases handling of Hunter Biden's laptop. Washington Times has learned that Timothy Thibault, an assistant FBI special agent in charge, this is a very high-ranking official at the FBI. Special agent in charge is essentially 2 steps away from being the director of the FBI. Was forced to leave his post, according to 2 FBI officials familiar with the situation. Thibault was seen exiting the Bureau's elevator last Friday, escorted by 2 or 3 headquarter-looking types, according to eyewitness accounts provided by the former officials. It is unclear whether Mr. Thibault, a 25-year-old FBI veteran, was on leave for at least a month following the revelations about political statements he made while leading the Public Corruption Unit. Isn't that incredible? The FBI declined to comment. Attempts to contact Mr. Thibault was unsuccessful. Republican lawmakers have been scrutinizing Mr. Thibault for making anti-Trump statements on social media posts in 2020. At the time, he was helping lead the FBI's probe into Hunter Biden. In February 2020, Mr. Thibault liked a separate Washington Post opinion pieces critical of Attorney General Bill Barr. Mr. Thibault also retweeted the Republican anti-Trump Lincoln Project. So I guess he's also a like pederast, tangential, disgusting people, these Lincoln Project people. Sickening. During recent testimony before the Senate, FBI Director Christopher Wray dodged questions about Thibault's social media posts. He said these are ongoing personal matters. This is some pretty shocking stuff. Also, Senator Grassley going in hard on Thibault. We have the clips for you, and this is just really, really devastating stuff. This is the first head to roll because of the Trump raid. This is the first Trump raid head to roll. Every agent who was involved in the Donald Trump raid needs to be fired, have their badges and guns stripped from them. One of our favorites, Miranda Devine, the person who wrote Laptop from Hell, was on Fox News just a minute ago, outlining exactly who this Timothy Thibault is. This guy is pure scum.
They are. And in fact, I think a big CYA moment happened today when the Washington Times has just told the story that Timothy Thibault, who's the FBI agent mentioned by Chuck Grassley
Yes.
and his whistleblowers, that was active in suppressing any derogatory information about Hunter Biden, which basically means about Joe Biden, because Joe Biden was up to his neck in Hunter Biden's influence peddling operations overseas. So Timothy Thibault was that agent, one of the agents that whistleblowers have told Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson about, that were suppressing anything about the laptop or anything to do with Hunter Biden's influence peddling program. He's left the agency reportedly. Also, there is a story that Timothy Thibault also, apart from having rancidly anti-Trump and anti-conservative social media output, also was purging the agency, at least in Washington, of any agents who were not vaxxed, because he suspected them of being conservatives.
Oh, my God.
And also any agents who attended a Trump rally in Washington, D.C., which is perfectly legitimate, on January 6th.
This sick bastard. Look at the work of Timothy Thibault. This is the wonderful work of your FBI agents, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. The wonderful work of your... It's such... the most transparent administration in history. This is why they raided Trump. Can't say it enough. We get so upset at this. We're so angry because these are the people who are supposed to be operating, solving crimes, solving drug trafficking, sex trafficking, solving various international schemes to defraud or hurt Americans. And here they are weaponizing for their own political dopamine hits inside of this agency and using their guns and their badges and their warrants and their searches in order to harass Americans, innocent American civilians, and the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, inside of his home. This is why Republicans are furious. John Kennedy, one of our favorite senators, called out Timothy Thibault in his questioning of Christopher Wray, went hard in the paint. In case you're wondering exactly how devastating this loss is to the leftists inside of the FBI, listen to what Kennedy was saying about Timothy Thibault. Watch this. This is the scum who just lost his job. The first head to roll. The revenge tour begins tonight for the Trump raid and the politicized FBI. Check out our dear friend of the show, and a total badass, American patriot, Senator Kennedy, going after the FBI director for this human scum of an agent who was there using the FBI to prosecute and persecute MAGA.
Who is Timothy Thibault? Did he work on the President Trump Russian collusion investigation?
I'm not sure I know the answer to that. Not that I'm aware of, but I can't say that with certainty.
Did he or does he work on the FBI investigation of Mr. Hunter Biden?
So the investigation that you're referring to, and I have to be a little bit careful because we're talking about an ongoing investigation, is being run out of our Baltimore field office, working with the Delaware U.S. Attorney, who's a holdover from the prior administration.
And we haven't been able to track him down. So this guy, FBI supervisory analyst Brian Auten, opened an assessment which was then used by headquarters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the video kicked there into someone explaining on their video. So anyway, shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Timothy Thibault. This is the person who was in charge, I guess, of the Hunter Biden investigation. Openly, viscerally, repugnantly anti-Trump, has been shown the door. If you're waiting and joining just moments ago, this is breaking news. This man has been shown the door for political bias, which has no place at the FBI. This man was going to be the subject of multiple congressional investigations. He was viscerally anti-Trump, and this is the agent that multiple whistleblowers have come out to say he is a apparatchik for the regime inside of the FBI, and has told us specifically to cover up for the Bidens and to not investigate Hunter Biden. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What does Donald Trump have to say? My team is telling me we have the Donald Trump Truth Social loaded right now. Let's go. This sent seconds ago. Donald Trump. Let's make that bigger if we can. Wow. I assume this ends the fake witch hunt. The special agent in charge has been removed from his post based on his concealing of the partisan nature of evidence presented to secure the FBI's corrupt investigation into the 45th president of the United States, me, which has culminated in the unprecedented raid on Mar-a-Lago. Thank you, FBI, for taking this important step toward sanity. The next important piece of information from our friend Kash Patel. As you all know, Kash Patel on this program a lot. We have him booked for this week, I believe. Kash Patel will be joining the program. Kash Patel saying this about the FBI's investigation. Wow. One of the corrupt government gangsters is shown the door. Kash Patel sharing the article of this agent getting fired, getting canned. FBI special agent who opened Trump investigation reportedly escorted out of the Bureau headquarters. This according to Just the News. Now, this investigation has been going on for a while. Kash Patel has worked at the FBI. Kash Patel was an FBI agent. Correction. Kash Patel was a lawyer for the Department of Justice. Kash Patel worked with the FBI, and Kash Patel is saying this is insane. A corrupt government gangster has been fired. It is very rare to see the FBI fire their own. This guy must have been pure scum, and they must be very scared. Scared right now of what? What they are scared of and what you see in the tea leaves. Don't believe the fake polls. What do we do to fake polls? What do? We toss them out. We throw the fake polls. What do? We throw them in the trash where they belong. Nate Silver is a professional idiot. Nate Silver is the dumbest man and the most wrong man in American history. Jim Cramer on CNBC is more right on the stock market than Nate Silver is in polls. They're trying to tell you right now that Democrats are leading in polls and that they're ascendant and that Dark Brandon is here and that Joe Biden, he falls over on his bike and his wife is, has to essentially yank him away from reporters. Let's load that clip up too. Joe Biden can't complete a sentence, can't stand upright, falls asleep at the whatever, falls asleep at the conference. What was it? The global warming conference. That guy. They're telling us that guy's ascendant. No, it's fake. It's fake. And the reason you know it's fake is because you're watching the panic happen in real time. This is the panic happening in real time. Dr. Fauci is retiring because he does not want congressional investigations into him. The FBI is canning this guy. They told him to hit the bricks. Grab your stuff from your table, your coffee mug, and he would never have a statue of Lincoln on his desk. Grab your stuff and go. Take your pack it up and hit the bricks. This guy was escorted out with security, according to the Washington Times. So what happened? Why? Because they are terrified of the investigations that are about to happen to the FBI. They are horrified. They know that there will be a red wave. They're trying to suppress that. It's a suppression poll, what's going on right now. Don't believe it. Listen to Jim Jordan about what they're about to do to the FBI and how scared everyone should be inside of that building. This is why they're firing everyone. This is why Fauci is resigning. They're all running scared because they know how bad it's going to be for Democrats in November. Don't believe the suppression polls. This is the judgment day that's coming for the FBI. Listen to Jim Jordan.
Understand the template here. The template never changes with these guys. It's the left creates a lie, big media, mainstream press reports the lie, big tech amplifies the lie, and then when we try to tell the truth, they call us names and try to cancel us and tell the world that, oh, we're the ones not being square with them. So the country, though, the good news is they figured it out, and I'll tell you who else has figured it out, Trey. And you and John, with your background in law enforcement, appreciate this. 14 FBI agents have come to our office as whistleblowers, and they are good people. There are lots of good people in the FBI. It's the top that's the problem. But some of these good agents are coming to us telling us this is baloney what's going on. The political nature now of the Justice Department, God bless them for doing it, coming and talking to us about the school board issue, about a whole host of issues. I mean, it's becoming a well-worn trail of agents who say this has got to stop. And thank goodness for them. And thank goodness that the American people recognizes it. And I believe they're going to make a big change on November 8th.
This is what's going to happen. Republicans will get in charge, and then Republicans will begin to investigate. Now, we have this from even the most establishment Republicans. Mike Turner was on earlier this morning. We played the clip. Maybe we can load that up. Guys, let's load up these FBI investigation clips. This is a panic time for the FBI and for Washington, D.C. and the permanent regime party in Washington, D.C. For the first time, you have Republicans, a hardened majority of Republicans, including, but not limited to, the centrist establishment Republicans like Mike Turner. These guys are saying, we are going to destroy the leadership of the FBI. We are going to take an earth mover and we're going to scrape the top of the FBI's leadership until we get down to the roots and the stems of this corruption. And the FBI leadership is going to go and they're going to start lopping off heads of agents, which is exactly what they're doing. Read the tea leaves. They want you to believe the headlines. The headlines are that Joe Biden suddenly up to 43% in approval rating. And that's up from like 32%. They think that's amazing. That's actually below where Trump was at this time. But anyway, they're saying that Joe Biden's up. They're saying it's all going to be great. If it was all going to be great, then why is Fauci resigning? Why? Fauci said that he'd serve out the term with Biden. Why is Fauci running for the hills? Follow the rats. If you want to know if the ship's going down, watch for the rats coming out of the portholes, jumping into the water. This is what's happening. Fauci is a rat, and he knows what's going to happen. That ship, the rotted, diseased edifice of the ruling class and the oligarch inside of DC, the bureaucratic oligarchy, is going to get hit by an iceberg. And it's going to be biblical. And nothing can change it. Nothing can stop what's happening. In Florida, last week on Tuesday, something like 43 different school board victories for conservatives in the school boards. Tell me that's not a cultural moment. Are you kidding me? Myra Flores winning in Texas 15 in a seat that has never been held by a Republican in 100 years. No, ladies and gentlemen, when you have the establishment of the GOP stating that we are investigating the FBI, this is panic time. This was the FBI looking inward for the first time maybe in my lifetime and saying it is time for us to begin to clean house. Now, this is just the tip of the spear that needs to be driven directly into the heart of the corrosive, despicable agents in the FBI. And that agency, it needs to be either broken up and have its responsibilities spread out, or it needs to have a complete and total leadership and oversight overhaul. These are the kind of moments that scare the hell out of the FBI agents. This is why Timothy Thibault, the FBI agent who covered up the Hunter Biden laptop and who was under congressional investigation and who was the start of the Trump raid, FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago, this is why this guy was kicked out on his ass tonight. Listen.
So who directed the FBI then? I mean, who is in charge here? Is this the same group that oversaw Crossfire Hurricane and the efforts to take Trump down during the campaign over a lie being collusion? Do we know who directed the FBI to do this raid?
Well, Maria, that's what's going to be so important about this upcoming election in November. If the Republicans win the House, obviously, with that's going to include the investigatory powers that we're going to need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know who's directing these things at the FBI. Who decided to not use other options to obtain these documents and to raid former President Trump's home? Who decided to go to the media and say that there's disinformation from Russia coming out in the election? Stop reporting on these issues that might be damaging to then candidate Biden. All of these things that we're seeing, they're coming from somewhere, and we need to get to the bottom of who is this and how do we root this out of the FBI so that we can get back to an organization, institution that we trust.
Mike Turner is a establishment Republican. He is the definition of suit and tie, red tie Republican, okay? Mike Turner, when Mike Turner is turning on the FBI, you have an issue. When the old bulls of the Senate are turning on the FBI, this is what these people see. They see Chuck Grassley saying things like this. And Chuck Grassley, by the way, do not discount. He's a gentle old man. He's a gentlemanly old man. He doesn't move unless he is moved himself. He is old enough. He's in his 80s. He doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need any more political wins. He can be the permanent senator from Iowa from now until kingdom come, until the return of Christ. Chuck Grassley saying that he is going to launch his investigation into the FBI, and it is going to be biblical, devastating, and he is going to get to the bottom of it. Remember, it is the old bulls in the Senate that actually move things. These are the men who get things done. These are the men who, when they speak up, everyone shuts up and listens. This is the kind of stuff that the FBI is hearing right now and saying, we got to clean house. This has gone too far. We cannot tolerate a GOP in the majority taking back the Senate and the House with this kind of investigations. This will devastate us forever. They'll break us up. Watch.
If the FBI is going to open an investigation, you have to do it the right way. It appears that the right way was not done. So let's contrast this investigation with what the FBI has done with allegedly criminal information received from numerous sources related to Hunter Biden. Simply put, the FBI shut down investigative activity. According to whistleblowers, the reporting was either verified or verifiable. On the one hand, the FBI greenlit a full investigation into Trump based on liberal news articles and information derived from liberal nonprofits. On the other hand, the FBI closed investigative activities and sources that provided verified or verifiable reporting on Hunter Biden. Director Wray, you'll have to explain to the committee and to the country how you'll manage this mess and how you'll clean house.
How you'll clean house. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Now, don't. Okay, there's a lot of firebrands. We love Matt Gaetz. We love MTG, Lauren Boebert. A lot of people with different style, right? A lot of pizzazz. There are people like Chuck Grassley who are workhorses, okay? They're not fancy. They just get it done. And so when Chuck Grassley is sitting there in his gentlemanly old way reading that he is going to demand that the FBI clean house, did you see Christopher Wray there? Did he look like a confident man? These are scary people. He might seem like an old grandfather who like hands you a candy cane, you know, playing Santa Claus at Christmas at your local Methodist church, but not Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley is the reason we know what we know about Russiagate. This is a dangerous man. Our friend Mike Davis, who's on the program a lot, he worked for Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley arms himself with bulldogs and investigative muscle. They are terrified of what Chuck Grassley could do to them. Chuck Grassley would be in charge of the Judiciary Committee and would have oversight over the FBI if he was to return to power and the Republicans were able to take the Senate. Mitch McConnell's doing everything he can to prevent that from happening, but here we are. The red wave is real. It will be devastating to the political class, and the reason why Donald Trump was swept into office in 2016 anyway was because Hillary Clinton did exactly, of course, exactly, plus much worse than what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump didn't have all this information on a server. This wasn't accessible to foreign powers. We know that Hillary Clinton's security on her server was accessed by foreign powers. Mark Levin, our favorite commentator on this issue, because Mark Levin was the chief of staff to the Attorney General. Mark Levin knows where all the bodies are buried in Washington, D.C. He knows how devastating moments like this are. He is detailing exactly what is going to happen inside of this investigation, saying exactly what happened with Hillary Clinton and why the American people have had a bellyful of this FBI. Get ready. We love this clip so much, and we love Mark Levin so very much for moments like this.
It's fascinating. It's unbelievable. Look. Oh, somebody knows how to use a magic marker and a ruler. And there they are. But we have 7 sentences. Let's see if we can figure out what's taking place. Ooh, look at this. I'm the senior legal analyst of this show right here. And they keep moving the ball and they keep leaking. They want absolute secrecy. But let's start with this point. If I'm wrong and the other side is right, how is it that Hillary Clinton is still walking on the earth free? She should be getting 50 life consecutive sentences for her violations of the Espionage Act. How is it that Jim Comey is still walking on the face of the earth free? Same with him. We know Hillary had a server in her home to gather information, including classified information. That violates the Espionage Act. There's simply no question about it. And when confronted with it, was her home searched? Was there a search warrant? I don't seem to recall. Do you? Did 30 FBI agents go to Chappaqua? I don't think so. Gee willikers. And I seem to remember her lawyer, David Kendall, had a big role in deciding what the government would and wouldn't see. Oh, and then we had hammers on iPhones and bleach software and all the rest of it. Obstruction? Oh, of course not. It's Hillary. And she wasn't even president, except in her mind.
Come on. Dark days, ladies and gentlemen. It's dark days. But there is always brightness in this country. There is always hope. Don't think, hello, Abe. How are you, Abe? Don't think for a second the reason I have Abraham Lincoln on my desk is to remind me that there have always been darker days in this country. Abraham Lincoln sits and stares at me. A young Abraham Lincoln sits and stares at me every single show because there have been extremely dark days. It's hard to find something, darker than a country at war with itself. There have been dark days. There have been evils in this country that have been righted. American patriots standing the line and saying no more. There have been triumphs and that God is on our side. God is on our side. Our fight is with darkness. Our fight is with evil. Our fight is with those who stand against the truth. My friend Jack Posobiec just put up, the battle is actually with Mulak, as only Jack can do. Ladies and gentlemen, there are idiots who simply stand in the way. Idiots like this.
Oh, no.
Joe Biden getting moved back by his wife. People are sitting there wanting you to believe that Joe Biden is in charge. Joe Biden, it's like Jill Biden yanking Joe back, right? Why? I don't know. How much dandruff did she get on her when she did that? Sickening. Yuck. What does Joe Biden smell like? Old, rotted cheese. Cabbage that's been left in the sun since Easter. Ugh, yuck. Could you imagine grabbing him or being grabbed by it? Yet just disgusting. Anyway, Jill Biden grabbing Joe. They're not in charge. They're not in charge. It's the permanent state that's in charge, and they are the ones who are panicking right now. Dr. Fauci is resigning. The FBI is turning inward on their own agents and canning them. And we are about to see a rebirth of freedom in this country. I know it. I know it, ladies and gentlemen. We will see a new Gettysburg Address. Donald Trump will probably deliver it during his inauguration in 2025, which would be, he'd be inaugurated in January 20th of 2025 would be the next inauguration speech, right, in this country. That's what will happen. We know it, and we want to build a community in order to get us there. A community of optimism and community of patriots. This is my email address. Toss it up on the screen. If you have an idea for a story, this is a show run by you, for you. If you have an idea for a story, shoot me an email. My staff has access to this as well. We are responding. We are getting back with people, and we want to hear from you, okay? That's the email address. Hit us up, okay? This is an important moment, and patriots must be connected. Patriots have to be connected. So let's go. This is the new era where the new right is ascendant. The Great Awakening is upon us, and it's going to be absolutely magnificent. Remember this. Remember this. Hope is not lost. Remember Lincoln. Hope is never lost. Not for God's America. Not for God's America. First person to lose their job over the raid of Donald Trump. We pray many, many more to come. And we do pray on this show because we have our priorities right. God, family, country. My name is Benny Johnson. This has been The Benny Show. Breaking news this hour. God bless all of you. If you like what we did here today, please click like. Please subscribe. Please share the show. Please subscribe to our podcast. Number one free way that you can help us. We know times are tough right now. We know that Joe Biden's gas prices, grocery prices. Yo, please subscribe, and that would be amazing. That is how you can help us out. Build this movement. All right? All America's ever needed, Lincoln, one more time. All America's ever needed is a small group of determined patriots to stand up to tyranny and to evil and say, no, our battle is with evil. Let's go out and win. God bless you. Have an amazing night.